All right, so my DMs have been exploding with questions about the Google Cybersecurity certificate. And you know what's crazy? After my last video on Google Certs, the comments section went absolutely wild. I've got viewers from all backgrounds, students, IT professionals, career changers, all asking me the same thing. Shane, is this certificate still actually worth it in 2025? And look, I get it. The job market is tough right now, and it's way different than it was a few years ago. In 2023, there were massive tech layoffs, and right after that, AI absolutely exploded. So when Google, one of the most powerful companies in the world, dangles this shiny certificate in front of you, promising a path into a field paying over $100,000, who wouldn't be tempted? So today, I'm gonna be giving you the real, honest truth about this certificate in 2025. And this isn't just my opinion, it's based on actual feedback from dozens of viewers who've completed it. Plus, hiring managers and decision makers that I've talked to personally, and a deep dive into what the certificate actually delivers. And you guys know I don't sugarcoat this stuff. I've reviewed dozens of tech certificates on this channel. Some are worth every penny, others are just expensive PDFs. And this one, it's got some serious potential with a few important things that you need to know before diving in. So let's go. Right after you gently tap that like button. But before we get into it, you need to understand how I'm reviewing this thing. I've collected real data from people who actually completed the certificate, and not just the success stories, but a wide range of experiences. I've also talked to hiring managers and decision makers who see these certificates come across their desk. And I've talked to students who finished it and landed jobs, and others who are still on their journey. And also people who have failed to land a job. So you guys know I give it to you straight. I just want you to make smart decisions with your time and your money. So what exactly is this certificate? Let's break it down. Well, according to Coursera's website, the Google Cybersecurity Professional Certificate is an 8-course series that takes about 6 months to complete if you put in around 7 hours per week. Now, I have said before that it costs $39 a month, but then I got comments from some people saying that it costs $49 a month. So I think that it changes depending on the year and also possibly your location, but it's likely going to be between $39 and $49 a month, so check it in the link in the description and the pinned comment below. Now, they also promise to teach you to identify common risks, threats, and vulnerabilities, protect networks, devices, people, and data from unauthorized access, and gain hands-on experience with Python, Linux, and SQL. And what I love is that they've made it accessible to beginners. They say that no prior experience is required, and they say that you can get on the fast track to a career in cybersecurity. Plus, they say it's beginner level. Now, I have mixed feelings on this because cybersecurity in general is just not beginner level, right? Companies are not going to give you these incredibly important jobs where you're basically protecting their data and their money if you're a total beginner. With that being said, on the other side of the spectrum, I think there is a large sort of elitist community that's a subset of the cybersecurity community where they're kind of just like gatekeepers, and they basically try to tell other people what they have to do or what they have to be in order to be good enough to get into cybersecurity. So I kind of disagree with both sides of that spectrum, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. But at $39 a month, that's about $234 total if you take the whole 6 months to finish it. And for that, you're getting 170 hours of instruction across 8 comprehensive courses. There's foundations of cybersecurity, play it safe, manage security risks, connect and protect, networks and network security, tools of the trade, Linux and SQL, assets, threats and vulnerabilities, sound the alarm, direction and response, automate cybersecurity tasks with Python, and put it to work, prepare for cybersecurity jobs. Now, Google says that this prepares you for roles like cybersecurity analyst, and security operations center analyst or SOC analyst. And they even mentioned that it helps prepare you for the CompTIA Security Plus exam, which I think is really cool. That basically means that Google doesn't see CompTIA as a competitor, they see them as a collaborator. Now, the big question is this certificate preparing you for what companies want in 2025? Well, let's look at what makes it stand out. The good stuff. Let's start with what the certificate gets right, and honestly, there's a lot to like here. First off, the production quality is exceptional. I mean, it's Google. The learning platform is clean, organized, and intuitive. And students consistently praise how accessible the material is presented. And the modules on foundations and security fundamentals are genuinely outstanding. If you're new to cybersecurity, they break down complex concepts in a way that just clicks. And multiple students told me that they finally understood security frameworks that they struggled with for years. I mean, just look at all these positive comments that were on my video that I did on this a few years ago. And you can see people really liked it. Also, the Linux and SQL sections are particularly valuable. These are practical, in-demand skills that you'll use daily in security roles, and Google teaches them specifically in a security context, which gives you an edge over generic courses. Now, here's one thing I want to emphasize. One of the biggest strengths is literally just the Google name. And let's be real, it does make a difference on your resume, especially if you're trying to break in with limited experience. Hiring managers recognize the Google standard for quality. But here's something really exciting that just happened. Google recently added AI integration into this certificate. We're talking about practical, hands-on AI applications specifically for cybersecurity. And you'll learn how to use AI to understand complex security frameworks, identify bugs in code, analyze the latest vulnerabilities, and even use AI as your troubleshooting assistant. And this isn't just theoretical stuff. These are real tools cybersecurity professionals are using right now in 2025. And there's really only two things that matter when it comes to a certificate or certification. One, the actual value of the course and the training itself. And two, the thing that's actually much more important, how valuable hiring managers and decision makers think the cert is. And this is something that you will see people argue about incessantly online. If you look at places like Reddit, for instance, you will see people argue about this all day long. You know, you'll have cybersecurity experts that took some cert and they thought that the skills that they learned with the cert were pretty useless, or they just simply weren't happy with it. And then you'll have other cybersecurity experts that talk about the same exact cert and they'll say that it landed them a job. And the thing is, a lot of the time, they're both right. So just understand that human beings are incredibly illogical. And the thing that should be more important is the value of the cert, you know, AKA what it actually teaches you. But the thing that is actually more important is what hiring managers and decision makers think of the cert. And in the case of the Google cert, it does teach you some valuable stuff and the training is pretty good. But more importantly, companies respect the Google brand name. And the price point is incredibly reasonable compared to boot camps that charge $10,000+ for similar content, or of course getting a 4-year bachelor's degree, which is likely going to cost you over $100,000. Plus, I'm also impressed by the portfolio building activities throughout the courses. These give you actual projects to show employers, not just theoretical knowledge. And this is crucial. 75% of graduates report career improvement according to Google's data. And that's a significant number of people seeing real results. And here's something most people don't realize. This certificate is actually designed to prepare you for industry standard certifications. We're talking CompTIA Security Plus, CIS-A+, even advanced certs like the CASP+. But it doesn't stop there. This foundation also helps prepare you for Microsoft certifications like SC900 and AZ500, plus the Certified Ethical Hacker, CIS-A, CIS-M, and basically all the certifications that employers actually recognize and value. So you're not just getting a Google certificate, you're getting prepared for the certifications that really matter in this industry. Now, to be completely fair, there are a few things to consider here. Some students mentioned the Python section focuses more on fundamentals than advanced security applications, and it is great for beginners, but you might want to supplement it with a more security-specific Python project. A few graduates also mentioned that while the certificate does provide excellent foundations, they felt most confident when pairing it with hands-on practice in their home labs or with additional courses like Security Plus. Now, the important thing to remember is that no single certificate is a magic bullet. Cybersecurity is a field that rewards continuous learning and practical experience. But if someone is trying to sell you on the idea that you have to get a college degree to become a cybersecurity expert, then they are full of it. For instance, one of my good friends and world-renowned cybersecurity experts, Greg Hogland, started off as a hacker. So it's complete BS that you have to get some advanced degree in order to get into this field. Now, let's talk about real outcomes people are seeing with this certificate. Google notes that you can directly apply for jobs with Google and over 150 US employers, including American Express, Deloitte, Colgate, Palmolive, Mandiant, T-Mobile, and Walmart. And that's an impressive network of potential employers. And the median entry-level salary for these roles is $115,000, which is unbelievable. And at the time of making this video, there's over 28,000 job openings in the United States alone. So the opportunity is definitely there, even in a down market. Now, I've also spoken with numerous students who landed roles within 6 months of completing the certificate. And many started in entry-level security positions or leveraged it to transition from IT into security-focused roles. And the pattern that I'm seeing is this certificate is opening doors, especially when people approach it as part of a strategic career plan rather than a standalone magic bullet. So let's talk about who should get this cert. If you're a complete beginner with zero tech background, but you're interested in cybersecurity, this is an excellent starting point. The structured curriculum and Google's teaching approach make complex security concepts accessible. Also, if you're already in IT and you want to pivot to security, this certificate can help you learn the security mindset and fill out knowledge gaps. So many people, for instance, start off in help desk or IT support, and they use this as a successful bridge into security roles. Also, if you're a career changer with no tech experience, this is one of the most approachable and credible entry points into the field. Just as an example, one of my students was a high school teacher, and they were able to actually skip IT and get straight into cybersecurity. So the focus on fundamentals gives you a solid foundation to build upon. Now, even if you do have some cybersecurity knowledge, the structured approach and Google's perspective on security best practices could still provide some value, especially in areas that you might not have deep expertise in. Plus, let's be honest, Google does have that brand name. So the bottom line is this certificate does present one of the most accessible, affordable, and credible paths into cybersecurity. And realistically, it's not going to take you that long to get it. The AI integration makes this even more valuable. You're learning cutting-edge skills like using AI to develop Python scripts and analyzing vulnerabilities. Skills that are literally reshaping the cybersecurity field as we speak. And this positions you ahead of other candidates who are still doing everything manually. Now, by the way, in order to help you figure out if this is a good fit for you, I am going to rate it in a bunch of different categories. But my final verdict is that for most people looking to enter or advance in cybersecurity, this is absolutely worth it. Because look, at the end of the day, this certificate offers exceptional value. It's well produced, affordably priced, and it has the Google name behind it. So for $234, you're getting a solid foundation in cybersecurity fundamentals from one of the world's leading tech companies. Now, is it the only thing you'll ever need? No, but that's true of any certificate in any field. Cybersecurity is constantly evolving, and if I had to give it a score, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. It's significantly above average and one of the best cert programs that I've reviewed. Now, the recent AI refresh honestly bumps this even higher for me. Google is keeping this certificate current with where the industry is actually heading, not where it was 5 years ago. So my recommendation is that if you're serious about cybersecurity, start with the Google certificate to build your foundation, supplement it with hands-on practice in a home lab, consider Security Plus as a complementary credential, then network on LinkedIn, online forums, or local security meetups, and then be strategic about your job applications, focusing on roles that match your skill level. That is the path that's working for most successful people in this field. So in order to check out the cert for yourself, go ahead and click the link in the description and the pinned comment below, and keep in mind that is an affiliate link. So if you do end up signing up to Coursera, I will get a small percentage. With that being said, you can very easily just type it in on Google as well. However, if you find my videos useful, I do appreciate it if you click the link. And I will always give you my honest opinion whether or not I'm affiliated with them. But with that being said, I want to hear your experience in the comments. Was it worth it for you? Did you land the job? I want to hear the positive and the negative. And that way we can all learn from it and figure out whether or not it's going to be good for our situation. Because this certificate, just like any other way of getting educated, is a tool, right? You got a lot of different tools. You got hammers, screwdrivers, wrenches. If you try to use a hammer to hammer in a screw, it's probably not going to turn out very well for you. However, if you use a hammer to hammer in a nail, well, that's the perfect tool for the job. And all of our situations are going to be different. So in many cases, this certificate is going to be the right choice. But for many of you, it won't be. If you're ready to get started, I've got the link to the Google Cybersecurity Certificate in the description below. And if you want to explore other cybersecurity courses and career paths, I've also included a link to Coursera's Cybersecurity Career Academy. They've got some excellent options there too, so definitely check it out. Now, by the way, if you're interested in the other Google professional certificates, check out my video I did on the Google certificate tier list by clicking right here.